Hello everybody, welcome to another movie review. This time we are reviewing Judgment at Nuremberg, 1961. Gave this movie a rating of 1, was viewed in 2011. Once in a generation, a motion picture explodes into greatness. Then the poster has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 faces. And we have a couple of famous faces: Montgomery Clift, Burt Lancaster, Julie Garland. Okay, I like the cover. I think it's interesting. It's like kind of unique. Judgment at Nuremberg is a misleading film in many ways. At first, before seeing the movie, I originally thought Judgment at Nuremberg was going to be a semi-documentary based on actual events, but it turned out to be a fictionalized account of the actual trial. Second, I originally thought the movie was going to be about the trial of 22 famous Nazi defendants during the Hermann Göring. Alas, it is not. Rather, the movie is about the trial of how boring the judges of the Third Reich. After the film had ended, I felt compelled to look up the original source of the proceedings, and it's the 1,267-page Trials of War Criminals before the Nuremberg Military Tribunals, Volume 3, The Justice Case. I admit the book is quite tedious to read through, but it proves to me one thing: the movie is absolutely nothing like it, not even a single shred. Ultimately, Judgment at Nuremberg can't be rated any higher than a 1. Sure, I'll be pointed out that it's just a movie and it's a fiction not meant to be taken seriously. Well, it is propaganda at best, and an attempt to rewrite history by unqualified, educated persons. Third, while watching the film, I had never felt so insulted by the presentation of the information, the way witnesses were treated, and the gross freedom that defendants had by making immaterial speeches. It is so inaccurate, insulting, and manipulative, and deceptive. Most of all, it's a pro-German film at best. The easiest reason why American viewers do not react strongly to Ernest Janning and Mrs. Boholt is that they are played by Burt Lancaster and Marlene Dietrich. It's Hollywood manipulation at finest. Let's just have an analogy here. If Saddam Hussein was played by Daniel Day-Lewis and he had the greatest performance of his career, of course he will have sympathy for Saddam because it's Daniel Day-Lewis playing him after all. Suppose that Saddam Hussein is played by somebody else, then it's impossible to sympathize with him. That's exactly what happened in Judgment at Nuremberg. If you look at Emil Hahn, it's easy to hate him because of how he looks. On the other hand, if you look at Ernest Janning, you'll go, that's Burt. What a legendary actor. What a great performance. Obviously, he is a legendary actor, but this is just bad enough. Now with Marlene Dietrich, whom I hate, she was able to gain access to Judge Haywood due to her looks. Of course, she is resorting to commonly used tactics known to veteran police officers, detectives, and judges today. It's about making excuses and playing the innocent card when, in fact, it's called denial. Truth be told, most likely the judges of that time don't allow it to happen to themselves because, for all intents and purposes, the people of Germany were responsible for the mass destruction of mankind, something the world had never before seen on such an enormous scale. The most appalling statement made by the character, which is a tactic, is that nobody in Germany knew about the atrocities that were happening. That is 100% lie. I read in the IMDb trivia page that Marlene herself, a German, was repulsed by the lines that she had to say and had gone through ordeals, but my question is, why go through it if she knew it was historically false? Naturally, she was cast into the role because she was a well-known actress at that time and was able to get away with it. Had an actress who was oblivious to the American audience been cast for her role, she would have failed because the Americans won't buy it for the slightest second. But it's Marlene Dietrich who makes the perspective easier to swallow, and it's called manipulation. Finally, just because the performances are decent, if melodramatic to a point of being wholly theatrical, doesn't mean the film must automatically be called great. Just because the film touches the topic of Holocaust doesn't mean it automatically becomes an outstanding film. And just because the film is about an important event doesn't mean it just automatically must be a respectable film. All in all, Judgment at Nuremberg is a work of fiction, a work of rubbish, and an attempt to rewrite history. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time in another review. Bye-bye.